Hatapu, assalamu alaikum, namaste, Haru Nefer. This is Kusankma Keperu with another exciting video for you. In this video, we're going to talk about the power of future projection. But before I do that, I'd like you to hit the like button on this video. If this is your first time to my channel, welcome. Hit the subscribe button to get notifications on when I go live and when I upload recorded videos. If you're interested in taking your knowledge of the esoteric and the spiritual to the next level, we do have free ebooks for you. You can scroll down below and click on the links and download an ebook and start reading it today. If you want to go even further and follow that rabbit down the hole, you can become a Patreon supporter for as little as $1, $5, or $20 per month. You can cancel at any time. There's no obligation. And you'll get exclusive access to instructional videos on the esoteric, videos that teach you how to meditate, how to invoke spirits, how to work with oracles, how to do qigong, and how to manifest money, and so much more. Hypnosis videos, all kinds of great stuff. So become a Patreon supporter today. Last but not least, please share this video with family and friends so we can get the revolution started and change the vibrational frequency of the planet to one that's more conducive to love, light, and happiness. So, Haru Nefer, how are you? I want to talk about something very important that I know a lot of people are struggling with. And I have a little remedy for you, a little technique, which we call future projection. But let me just explain something. We all have plans that we set out, whether it be plans for business, plan how our day is going to go, plan on how our relationship's going to go, or if we're going to get into a relationship, if we're going to ask somebody to marry us, whatever. And those plans sometimes can go awry. They don't go the way we expect them to. And there's a variety of reasons for that. But when you are armed with magic and, of course, the oracles, you should have no problem in manipulating the very fabric of reality to go according to your wishes, okay? Always keep that in mind, because this reality is flexible. It is not fixed. It's not static. It can change. And it changes depending upon your belief system, no one else's, okay? Because you're living in a subjective reality. And what that means is that the only one that's really here is you. You are experiencing everything through what we call as a hypnotic tunnel. You have tunnel vision. You're in a hypnosis state, and you're being programmed by the ruling elite to accept a reality that's not one to your liking, okay? And it becomes a mass consensus agreement, meaning that there's so many of us that are buying into this reality that it legitimizes and becomes real. However, if we all, as a collective, accept a different reality, then we would see before us the very fabric of reality start to change. When unfortunately, the majority of us don't know our own power. They don't know we're reality-generating machines. They don't know that we're God men and God women. Therefore, we allow our power to be usurped, seized, and controlled by the ruling elite, who will use our power for their bidding. And what I mean by that is that if you are not actively creating your reality through your belief system, you are then on a subconscious level accepting the belief systems by a dominant society, and then you are manifesting that, and that belief system goes according to your wish. It goes against your wishes. Actually, it's diametrically opposed to what you want in life. That's the way the ruling elite wants it. They first and foremost don't want you to know that you have this power. And secondly, they use all means and measures to manipulate you and to bring about a reality that they want. You need to cut yourself off from their belief systems, filter that out, and start to work on the beliefs that will come to fruition for what you want. So the process and the techniques that we teach, especially in my course, Reality Manifestation, we teach you how to work with manipulating reality so it comes to your favor. So it is one where you're living the life that you want, not what the ruling elite wants. Now, there's freedom within parameters. Obviously, when we are dealing with certain things that are on a mass level, then we must understand that we have to go through that because we made an agreement to experience it as a collective. But we do not have to be subjugated to it. We do not have to be oppressed by it. So that can change as long as we are willingly and collectively accepting a new belief system. One that says that I am empowered, I am God, man, God, woman. I am the Alpha and the Omega. So unfortunately, too many of us have not come into that realization of our own power. So we allow the ruling elite to seize our mindset, to hack our psyche, and to implant thoughts and beliefs that go against life-affirming principles. They are evil. They are corrupt. They do not mean you any good. And all of this movies and TV is all a way of them programming you toward a very dark and dystopian future. One where you will be socially and genetically engineered. First and foremost, they don't want you to be a gender. They don't want you to identify as a binary. They want you to be non-binary. They want to get rid of genders. So they create these hoaxes and these ideas, and they infiltrate the university system with these erroneous ideas, because they know that's the first place to indoctrinate the young mind into accepting these things. You see, the space-time continuum, or what we call history, has been corrupted and manipulated so that we don't understand the truth of history. See, the dumb historians are not asking the right questions. I say again, the dumb historians are not asking the right questions. They're traveling to Mexico to research the Mayan culture. They're traveling to Africa, to Egypt to research this, China to research the Chinese dynasties. And they're not asking the right questions. Because there's one common thread among all those civilizations. And that question must be asked. Why is it that of all of those cultures, when you examine them, the classical period of the Mayan civilization, the period of the snake, was one of the most advanced periods on the planet at that particular time, in that particular region of the world. Kemet, Egypt, was one of the most advanced civilizations. Atlantis was an advanced civilization. So what is the question that they're not asking? Why did all of these great civilizations suddenly fall? What toppled these civilizations? What happened in history to every one of these advanced civilizations that they fell? That is the question. We know that they were civilizations of color. We know that at one particular time, people of color dominated the planet, which is why the planet was in such a high culture and high civilization. We know that. But the question is, what happened on a global level to wipe out all these civilizations? I could tell you, but you wouldn't understand and wouldn't accept that truth. But what I'm here to say is that the space-time continuum has been changed. And I'm saying to you that history is not what they tell you. The history that you're learning is a lie. So what did happen? What happened that the Library of Alexandria was burned down? Well, we know it wasn't by accident, which they want you to believe it was by accident, or the Christians did it, or whatever. It was a purposeful event to destroy the knowledge of the planet. The high culture civilization knowledge. They burned down the Library of Alexandria to keep that advanced knowledge out of the public's hands. There are ships that used to dock, and one of the requirements was they had to hand over all their papyrus and their scribes and stuff to be copied for the Library of Alexandria. That told you that they valued knowledge and wisdom, not rap and hip hop and sports figures. So what happened to where every single civilization of antiquity was toppled and destroyed? Explain it to me, historian. I'm asking the right question, but you don't have an answer. Because there's a conspiracy. There is a conspiracy to erase history, the truth of history. and to implant a fabricated one. But I digress. If you get an opportunity, please donate to the channel. It helps me to keep writing ebooks and making videos, in spite of the fact that YouTube has demonetized my channel for speaking truth to power. Magic is everywhere, and magic is how the ruling elite took control of the planet. But they have done such a great job at mind control. They will have you believe that magic does not exist. And you have these fools teaching Kemetic spirituality without teaching magic. They're teaching Egyptology without teaching magic. The two are inseparable. They are inseparable. The kings and the queens, the pharaohs, did nothing unless the priest authorized it, unless the priest said it was okay, the priests and priestesses. You couldn't do anything without their blessing. A general couldn't wage war without getting the green light from the priesthood. A pharaoh couldn't put in new edicts without going through the priesthood. Akhenaten tried that. He said, we're going to do this exodus, and I'm going to bring all these people who believe in Aten over to my new temple of Aten, and we're going to worship Aten. That tells you that the most important thing in antiquity was magic. But the way we're learned and taught is just to read books, study facts and dates and things of that nature, not to apply that knowledge and wisdom of occult science and occult wisdom. Tahuti, Thoth, was not just a scribe who possessed wisdom, but he knew the secrets of magic. Imhotep, the multi-genius who built the step pyramid, knew the secrets of magic. So I want you to think about something. Many of you have struggles and troubles that you're dealing with, and I have them too. I'm not above anyone else. I plan things, and sometimes it doesn't work out. What do? Do you throw your hands up and say, I'm done? I've tried, it doesn't work out. You know, my plans go awry every time. What do? You rely on your magic. One of the things that has taken me to the stars and beyond is a technique of future projection. You see, when I would be planning my productions or be planning as a project manager things, and they wouldn't work out, the one thing I knew that I could fall back on was magic, which is why I was so calm and relaxed in the face of obstructions and challenges. And we're in second cycle, so we're going to be facing obstructions and challenges. She's the goddess of that. But see, whenever a belief system that's contrary to what you want crops up, you must challenge it. Because if you don't challenge it, it's going to take seed, it's going to take root, it's going to germinate, and it's going to come to full fruition. And you don't want that. So when you have an idea that crops up that's opposed to what you want, you have to challenge it each and every time, because it's going to crop up. Oh, my plans didn't work out. I'm not good at this. Oh, I'm dumb. Oh, I'm incapable. Poor me, poor me. No. And I want you to start applying this technique right away. We call it future projection. You see, when something doesn't go the way you planned, and I don't care how much it falls apart, whether it be a tiny bit or all collapses like the tower, you start visualizing the way you want it to go. You start to counter what you see in reality. So when I don't see things working out, I understand it's the iceberg effect. You know the iceberg? It's in the water. You can only really see the tip of the iceberg, but underwater, it's bigger than that. It's humongous underwater, but you only see a little tip on the top. It's the iceberg effect. So you see, when you're working magic, you only see the tip of the iceberg. You don't see what's under the water and all of the things that are awaiting you if you apply future projection. And it's so simple as this. In spite of what this 4D reality echoes to me, I deny it as a possible reality. I rebuke you. I deny it. And I visualize and focus on what I want only. I play it out in my mind's eye over and over again. Okay, that was bad. That wasn't good. I may have screwed up, or that person's an idiot. That's okay. Because now, every time I think about that, I'm going to visualize the way I want it to go. And then I'm going to keep it going, keep it moving. But you must also, and this is very important, take note of the trigger. You see, a lot of things that we have going on in life, in emotionalism and being upset, there's a trigger for that gets you into that trance state. Because trance, see, when something triggers you, it throws you into a trance state, an emotional state. And you cannot think rationally, and your IQ drops. So you must identify what are the triggers that cause me to go back into trance. Now, you must understand that many triggers or many things that will cause you to drop into that emotional trance state of self-doubt, anger, emotionalism, do not have their seeds and root in the actual event themselves. No, 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 no. You may not get a job, and that rejection harkens back to when maybe your parents gave you up for adoption, or when you went through a divorce. So it is not the getting the job or denied that's the issue. It's really the unresolved issue of the divorce, the separation, or giving up for adoption. That's really at the heart of the matter. And you're going to have to deal with that eventually. You're going to have to ferret that out of your subconscious mind. And you do that through trance, through meditation. But for now, we need to identify the trigger. And we can say, well, every time I'm out there in the job market and I see a resume, it fills me with doubt and worry. Okay, that's the trigger. Now, when that trigger hits you, you must learn to future project. See yourself at the job and doing a wonderful job at it. And every time the trigger comes up to throw you into the trance state, you future project. So you're countering that each and every time. Now, modern psychologists, they will agree that future projection is a very powerful tool, but you have to be consistent because you're denying the old belief and you're introducing a new belief, a new subroutine. But the trick here, and where we take this to the next level and beyond, is that we understand that if you empower that future projection with an emotion, and you're consistent with it, you are literally manifesting that reality. You're not just countering an old belief system. You are going to manifest that reality. As long as it's a visualization that you hold with meaningful intent and emotionalism, it will come to fruition. It will change the very fabric of the reality, the space-time continuum that you're experiencing, and you'll leap into a parallel reality where you want the things that are there. You cannot control life to every degree. There's stuff that's going to catch you by surprise. And when it triggers you, the test of really if you're Sahu or God is how you respond. If the trigger causes you to be emotional, then you're an animal spirit. If a trigger causes you to future project, then you're a God. Because when you future project into the world you want, then you're working magic. And I know I'm a Pisces, and I'm very right-brained. So what I imagine tends to come to pass quickly. And you can learn that skill too. It's a matter of consistently throwing yourself into trance, into trance, into trance, into trance, learning the technique of trance, because that gets you into the 5D realm. And when the trigger comes up, you future project. It comes up again, you future project. It comes up again, you future project. And you keep holding the image until you start to see synchronicities around you telling you, hey, your world is changing for the good. You're going to get everything you want because you've been future projecting. Now, I want you to understand something. And the reason we have so much of what we call as bad luck, because we automatically future project. But we imagine worst case scenarios because we live in a fear-based program society where it's all about fear-based programming. It's about hacking a psyche and making you afraid to turn left and turn right, making you fearful and doubtful of your own decisions. You must be confident. You must be assertive. You must grab the bull by the horns and proceed into the future with gusto. And you can do so as long as you're aware of the fact that you can control reality through the process of future projection. I used to use a cute technique. It was shown to me by my mentor. When we were, this is back in the days when we were working hypnosis and I was out there, talking to women in the dating scene. And my mentor was like, I got a trick for you to show you now. Take your hypnosis to the next level. It's called future projection, So when he showed me the technique, I was like, wow, that's awesome. And I started using it. And it was simple as this. If you meet someone that you like and you're really interested in pursuing them and courting them, employ the technique of future projection with them. It works like wonderful. It's like this, right? You're talking to a guy who's handsome like me. I don't know how you're going to find him, but whatever, that's your challenge. But anyway, and if you're interested in pursuing something with that guy or girl, then engage in future projection. And it's so simple as this: is say, hey, you know what? I could really see us going out for dinner and having a great time. And after dinner, maybe we could take a nice walk in the park. And then maybe from there, a couple of years down the line, we'll be married and we'll be so happy together. And I'll be taking you on trips around the world. And then you would have a new career with me. And we would have money to where we wouldn't worry about things financially. And we would live in a really nice house in Florida. It'd be a $1.2 million house. And we would have a full-time chef who would cook vegan meals. And you would wake up every day not have to worry about a 9 to 5, just looking at my pretty face. That's future projection. I'm telling her a story that takes place in the future, and I'm engaging her senses. I'm engaging her imagination. I'm taking her on a journey. Now, that's just a very basic, simple idea. You know what I mean? But where it works wonders and where it's most powerful is when you are doing it for your own personal goals and objectives. And you are challenging old belief systems to ferret them out. Because you should be working on what we call your conditionings or your programming on a daily basis. If you're not, shame on you. You should be meditating on a daily basis on future projection. I'm always like, if I'm going to do a business venture, if I'm going to do a presentation, the night before, I meditate and I future project how I want it to go. And there is the echo effect. And the echo effect is this simply. You're dealing with the space-time lag. You must understand that. There's a lag. You really exist in 5D. 5D is instantaneous. Whatever you think of manifests. But because you're in the 4D, 3 dimensions of space, 1 of time, there is a time lag between what you envision and how it manifests in this world. And because that time lag, we call it an echo effect, meaning I visualize myself with $5,000. It doesn't manifest right away because we're in a time lag. So what happens is an echo effect, meaning I'm living in lack. I don't have money. And that's all it is reality is just saying to you, hey, listen, this is a leftover piece of the old reality. Do you want to have this now? And if you take that visualization of you living in lack and you dwell on it, then you're confirming with reality that's you want that old reality to stick around for a while. But if you deny it and you engage in future projection, then you ignore that time lag, that reality, and then you participate into a parallel reality, one that has everything that you want. So when the echo effect happens, like for example, me and my mate arguing. Oh, we argue all the time. We argue how pretty I am. I'm prettier than her. She can't take it. But anyway, I digress. And I say to myself, I'm going to meditate and see us acting harmoniously, lovingly, and her kissing my feet. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Actually, she has pretty feet, so I like her feet. But yet, I'm meditating, and we're still arguing. What's going on, Kasank? What's going on, brother Q? Q of the continuum? That's the echo effect. That's the delay in space-time. You have to give it time for the reality that you want to catch up. You ever heard that joke? The mama tomato, she's walking, the baby tomatoes are behind them. The baby tomato slips and falls. The mama tomato says, catch up. Get it? All right. So the mere fact that my mate and I are still arguing is the delay, the lag in space-time. And it's also reality's way of saying, do you want this reality where you argue, or do you want another reality? And I say, I want another reality. So I'm going to future project and see us loving, harmonious, and stay with that. And whenever there's a trigger, it's okay, the trigger comes up. Instead of me getting thrown back into the emotional state of trance, I future project in trance. I visualize the state that I want to be in, the world that I want to be in. And if I keep doing that long enough, the very fabric of reality will shift and change to accommodate me. Isn't that beautiful? It only does that to a God. It doesn't obey anybody else. It doesn't obey the squirrels. It doesn't obey the doggies and the cats. They can be cute. Kitty go meow meow. Reality won't obey a cat unless it's Basset. But that's a goddess. But that's a different story. So how do you stay consistent and focused? That's a Haru. Haru is a hawk. Haru is focused. Haru swoops down on its prey, all the while focused. You work with the Haru mantra that'll make you more focused, like a hawk. All right? Work with your mantras, your cows, your words of power that will help you to change your vibrational frequency to a person that's more focused and more determined. You see? And Another prerequisite is you must be passionate about what you want. There's no reason to do it if you're not passionate about it. There's no reason to pursue it if you're not passionate about it. Future projection doesn't work if you're not passionate about the outcome. If I'm arguing with my mate and I really don't want her, what's the point then of a future projection? I just might as well say, hey, I think we're not worked out for each other. Let me go do a reading and figure it out and then come back at you. Reading says, Ron or Kasank, you're too pretty. You can move on. So anyway, you never came with an owner's manual. We were supposed to have one in the way of priests and priestesses to guide us to a higher spiritual level, but they killed them off. They murdered them to take control of the planet. They burned all the scribes or the papyrus that would reveal to you the secrets of your psyche, how to travel interdimensionally, how to manifest any reality. They burned all of that to keep that out of your hands. So your owner's manual is gone. But I'm here to put those pieces back together again. I'm here to try to assemble it as Osset assembled the pieces of Oseir and brought him back to life again in the resurrection. We have to stop listening to the society because it doesn't know right from wrong. It's a very immoral society. And start tuning into the God within you and using that power within you. So when I'm saying these things to you, do not give up your birthright. Do not give up your legacy. You are not human. You're not a sinful creature. You have extraordinary powers that if you tuned into them and knew how to use them properly, you could work wonders. But this society has done everything it can to keep that knowledge away from you. You see, you have these nincompoops out there who think they're Cometian, who think they know about Egypt, and they post these memes. Man, know thyself. Get back into your culture. This is not about reading. This is not about understanding different dates and facts. This is about application. This is about putting it into practice. The Metduneta is not, the hieroglyphics is not meant to just read it and commit it to memory. It is an alchemical formula. It is magic. That when you read it, it appeals to the right hemisphere of the brain to awaken psychic centers you can do the magic. So you connect to source. So you can to nullify the ego, which separates you from source. You're not going to work magic accepting the old belief systems and the ways of this Western world. It's not going to work. The two are opposed to each other. They're trying to lock you down in left brain concrete thinking, to limit your thinking, to put you in a box. And you're trying to be Haru and fly free as a bird, to come into your kingship and your queenship. And you don't understand that it's not about just reading and committing to memory and knowing dates and facts. It is about working the magic, lighting that candle, meditating, visualizing, future projecting, challenging old belief systems. Committed to that. When people tell me things that are against my belief, I say, no, that's not part of my reality. I'm sorry, that's not my reality. I'm working on a new reality. You see, the ruling elite, they're masters of the occult, so much so that they knew how to hack your psyche and then plant seeds, ideas. You are a product of genetic engineering. You are engineered to act in a certain way, to be a consumer, to be left-brained, to be emotional. They have engineered you to be that way. So don't tell me, oh, I don't want the New World Order to come into effect. I don't want to be brainwashed. Sorry. Been there, done that. It's already there. We're already there. New World Order is in full effect. Didn't you get the memo? Programming. You're already programmed. You're already brainwashed. You're genetically engineered. You are a slave. Realize it or not. I'm not no slave. Oh, really? Really? Are you working magic on a daily basis? No. That's how our ancestors lived. If you go to all of the societies or civilizations of antiquity, they all had another thing in common. They all practiced magic. They all had a priesthood. Isn't that something strange about that? That all of those societies of antiquity knew one thing, was that magic would be a part of their daily lives. It's not superstition. It's not being primitive, as these idiots in Western culture think. They were on to something. They knew something about the universe in reality that we don't know, that it's manipulated. You can manipulate it. You don't like your life, you can change it. It takes steps, it takes time, but you can change it. You know? My problem is not that I can change it, I know that. I just get very impatient sometimes. I'm like, all right, let's get this moving now. Let's make this magic happen. And the way you can make it move faster is to get really, really excited about it, really passionate about it. That speeds the process up. The more passion, the more power you have. This is why I taught a program in New York, one of the best programs I've ever taught, that in the program, we would spike, as I call it, the emotions. When something wouldn't go wrong, I would say, that's okay, get more excited, get more excited. If something didn't go the way you wanted it, then get more excited and hold your visualization longer, because that passion would bring it quick. You understand? Just keep rolling with it. Just keep getting more excited and more excited. Oh, that didn't work out. Hey, that's okay, man. I got this thing. It's going to happen. Let's keep it moving. Because reality is trying to ping off you. What that means is it has its finger on your pulse. It understands you. And it wants to know what's your dominant belief. What's your dominant passion? And it wants to manifest that for you. Unfortunately, society kind of brainwashes us with fear, anxiety, and that's what we bring to pass. We bring more of that into this reality, and we screw up our world. But they love it. They love the fear. They love the chaos. They love the depression. They love the fighting. They feed off that like vampires. But we have to cut their source off. We have to stop it and say no more. And start becoming passionate about the way we want the world to be. You want to heal the world, become passionate and visualize the world as healed. Visualize the future. But play that out in your mind as if it's the present, because the mind does not understand past and future. It only understands the present. So when you're visualizing something, it recognizes as it happening right now. This is why you will see with rape victims, when they're describing the assault, they go into a state of trance and relive it as if it's happening right now, because the right brain doesn't understand time, space. It only understands the here and now. So if you tell yourself that you're wealthy, you're successful, your mind understands that as the here and the now. And then it's only a matter of dealing with the space-time delay to have this reality catch up to what you're visualizing. You understand? So that means you have to give it space and time to manifest. And it will. It will. But you see, it's like a muscle. You've got to keep working it. Getting into trance, into that right, perfect, sweet spot of trance, the theta state, is not easy. It takes practice. But you can get there. And the more you practice, the more proficient you become at it. The more proficient you become at it, the more powerful a magician you become at manifesting the reality that you want. So when that trigger happens, drop into future projection. Oh, crap, that didn't work out. I'm going to future project. This is the way I want it to work out. I'm going to hold on to that visualization, empower it with emotion and excitement. Every time something doesn't go the way you want it to, future project. I used to use the technique a lot when I would deal with people in customer service and I couldn't get things that I wanted. I would throw them into a state of trance and future project, and lo and behold, they would give me what I want. But that's another video, another technique to show you, which I can show you that. It's a real simple technique to influence people. Some may call it mind control. But these are all natural powers that you're endowed with. This is nothing extraordinary. It only seems extraordinary because we've been taught in the left brain culture that doesn't believe in anything that's metaphysical. So we're trapped. See, they have done such a job. They have made us all so limited, so myopic in our view, so narrow-minded, so primitive. They have done such a good job at that. You just got to go, wow, how did we get here? How did we get from being gods to being animals? You know? Saw a video the other day, this woman holding her child, and I think her boyfriend got shot by police right in front of her. She's like, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. And I'm like, all right, look, here, okay. It's really bad. You know, I understand where you're coming from, but we got to first deal with your overreaction. You need to calm the hell down, because you're going to make things worse health-wise, and your baby's there. So you need to chill so you can come to your senses and know what to do against these sick, evil police officers. But this, that's not going to help you. But we've been conditioned to have emotional responses like that, to act animalistic like that. Calm the hell down. And this is one of the secrets to magic, which is amen. Being at peace in the face of the greatest obstructions. You got to learn to be peace and accept the situation. And then from there, that state of total peace and relaxation, then the wisdom will come to you on what to do, the right thing to do. Otherwise, you're gonna play right into their hands. You're gonna play right into their hands. You're gonna code your child with that type of emotionalism. They won't know how to think rationally. They'll fly off the handle, you know? So take that step back. Drop into the state of Amen, peace. Then do your future projection and watch the magic happen. And you can change so many things in your life that you don't even understand. It's not that hard. Your magic, you do it automatically every day. It's just involuntary. Take control now. That's why Haru is the king. Haru is in control. He asserts his will. That's what he stands for. He is Meneb and Ankh and Ma'at, the ability to keep the heart still, to live truth, to be at peace. You understand? So think about that. I've given you a great resource, a great tool to manipulate the very fabric of reality. And if you want to take it to the next level, sign up for my course, Reality Manifestation. We're doing some cutting edge, extraordinary things in that course. And one day I want to put together a book on these techniques, because it can really help a lot of people to get out of the situation we're in now. You see, the problem that we're facing is that as a collective, we're not on board. We're not on board the same page. We're operating from different playbooks. Some people using magic here and there, other people emotional, other people think they can do things revolutionary with guns, other people think, oh, F the police. And I'm thinking, we have to be of one accord. In antiquity, what the priesthood would do when we have things that wouldn't work out, such as a police force acting violently to citizens, we would come together and do a ritual where the masses of people would be thrown into a trance state. And then the priest would implant messages and images to have you manipulate reality. That's what we would do. We wouldn't be doing these protests. We wouldn't be taking down statues. We would employ magic, which is more effective. I want to thank you for tuning in today. This is Kasank Mahat Kiparu, son of Mahat and Tuti. Mahat is a beautiful goddess Heteru. Until my next broadcast, I'm in Ra.